I am honored to announce our Congressman Jim Costa. Congressman Jim Costa represents California's 16th Congressional District. He has been serving the San Joaquin Valley in the U.S. House of Representatives since January 2005. Mr. Costa, can you please step up, please?
Thank you very much, Commander, and those with the American Legion Post 12 from Selma. Over 100 years, this American Legion post has served the people of the Selma area with honor and distinction. And it is my privilege this morning to be with you. So let me begin first by saying, good morning, everyone. We could do better than that. It's a beautiful Memorial Day morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good. I like to hear the energy because we have so much to be thankful for. This day, we honor those men and women who've served our nation and all of the many incredible, wonderful veterans organizations and their families who are represented here today. I applaud your dedication and your hard work. The Wall of Honor here at Selma and the over 415 flags, Commander, that consecrate this sacred ground is a reflection of the honor and the commitment that these men and women demonstrated during their service to our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, each year on Memorial Day, we set time aside to honor and to remember the men and women who have given their lives in service to the great country we love. We refer to it as the ultimate sacrifice. They are heroes and they are families, and remember the families who have given the most precious thing they had, their last full measure of devotion. And because they did for over 200 and almost 45 years, we are a free and prosperous nation that is a symbol of democracy around the world. Our valley, this valley we love, and our nation owe an immeasurable debt of gratitude to these men and women who so selflessly answered the call of duty. And as I like to say, a grateful nation can never ever say thank you enough. We look at their dedication, the individuals who've come from all sorts of backgrounds. Immigrants past and immigrants present. People who came because of love of country to serve a common purpose, to serve their fellow Americans. So their stories are the American story. Their sacrifice and bravery must never, ever be forgotten. This includes today our nation's troops that are serving in active duty around the world. They and their families, those reservists, we should never forget. And when you see a man or woman in uniform, as I do in airports every week, do what I like to do, which is to go up and say thank you. Thank you. In addition to the millions of veterans that we honor here today, the gold and silver and blue star moms, members of the communities who help serve our veterans. I know my grandmother and my Aunt Georgina were both Gold Star mothers. I remember my grandmother's window would have the Gold Star there. I never knew my Uncle Joe. But during my time as your representative for the people of this valley, so many of us have had the privilege to participate in the Honor Flight program. Over 20 groups of veterans have come to Washington, D.C., and the Honor Flight entails veterans from all over our great valley to explore the Capitol, the museums, and the memorials that are placed in their honor. We met last week with brave veterans and for lunch, and we present them with flag pins, and we hear about their stories American stories. From the greatest generation who served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, to Iraq and Afghanistan, war veterans, every veteran deserves the welcome and honor and thankful for the sacrifices they've made. Not just on Memorial Day, but each day we must work to ensure that our veterans, our soldiers, their families, and the military families receive the benefits that they have earned. Yes, the benefits that they have earned, ladies and gentlemen. You can applaud on that note. As one of your representatives, we work to continue to honor those fallen by cutting through red tape, working on veterans' claims, helping with assistance programs and educational benefits. But we can and we always should do more. We do this in honor of those soldiers who gave the ultimate sacrifice so that we could have the opportunities that we have today. And we look at our future. This junior ROTC group, what a wonderful group of young people that are the future of America. America, the land of the free and the home of the brave, endures because of countless men and women who gave their lives so we could today live in freedom. You know, these are challenging times we face in our country. It's a seminal moment, I believe, in American history. We've had these moments before. You think about the 20th century, World War I, the Spanish flu, the Depression, World War II, Vietnam, in the 1960s that we lost over 58,000 Americans. Think about that. Civil rights movement, riots in American streets. 9/11 was another seminal moment in American history. And of course, the last couple years with this horrific pandemic and the challenges we face here at home, but around the world. Sadly, the people of Ukraine, the horrific attacks that have been placed upon them remind us that the cost of freedom is not free. Let me read what I think is perhaps one of the most powerful responses by an American president to the gravity and the challenges that we have faced historically, this great nation of ours. It was another seminal moment in American history. Perhaps one of the times that we were the most divided. We think of our divisions today. I'm talking about the Civil War. In 1863, President Abraham Lincoln, after the Battle of Gettysburg, gave a speech that will resonate in our hearts and our minds forever. I'm talking about the Gettysburg Address. I think it's appropriate that we reflect upon it, and I will read from it. 7 years ago, our forefathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men and women are created equal. We're now engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of war, and we've come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those here who gave their lives so our nation might live. It's altogether fitting and proper that we should do this, but in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot concentrate, we cannot hollow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but they can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work for which they fought so far and nobly advanced. It's rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task of remaining before us, that we honor those dead, and that we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave their last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government by the people, for the people, shall not perish from earth. Abraham Lincoln, 1863. I think it's as relevant. Go ahead, you can applaud. Powerful. So we think about this Memorial Day, but we think about those men and women who've served in our families and your families. We're here to honor today, but we should reflect on them every day. From Lexington to Gettysburg to Flanders Field, from D-Day to Korea to Vietnam, and most recently Iraq and Afghanistan. Let us never, ever, my friends, forget that for almost 245 years, it's those who have sacrificed for our country that allows America to be the beacon of light for freedoms guaranteed in our Constitution, enshrined in our Bill of Rights. So as we reflect, as I close and we reflect on the dedication of these American heroes this Memorial Day, let us remember that the common bonds as a nation that we share, these common bonds that reflect why we are all part of this great country, are far, far stronger than whatever differences we may have. So today, we honor, we remember, and we pledge never to forget. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for allowing me to share with you my thoughts and to honor and remember our fallen veterans. Their heroic efforts will not be forgotten. God bless our veterans and their families, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.